Hi, I'm T. Welcome back to The Gold Between Us. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than the ones I've done in the past. We're going to be talking about goal setting for the new year and some self-help books that I'll be reading in the month of January. Each month, I plan on doing a video on either like the first or at the end of the month, saying what the theme is for the next month and what books I'll be reading. But today, before we get started, I wanted to do a little shout out to Southwest Elixirs. This is not a promotional video, but I just happened to stop by there this morning on my way home from the grocery store, and they weren't open, but they were so lovely, and they let me go ahead and get a couple of juices from them, so I appreciate that. So I just want to talk a little bit about the goodies I snagged this morning. They gave me a complimentary ginger shot, which was really nice considering they weren't even supposed to be open today. And they also gave me their golden milk. I'm not sure if you can see the ingredients here, but I'll go ahead and read it out to you. They have turmeric, coconut milk, almond milk, cinnamon, vanilla, pepper, maple syrup, and Himalayan salt. It's 8 ounces and it looks freaking delicious. So I can't wait. I'll be drinking that here in a minute. But they also have a cleanse menu, which includes a 3-day, a 5-day, a 7-day, and a 10-day cleanse. They've got 16-ounce raw juices. They have more plant-based milks, and they have some tonics and some other shots. And then I think they even have like kind of like make your own custom type thing as well. So that's really neat. And you can always like add stuff to it. So their little shop is open Tuesday through Saturday. And they also have their juices at 2 locations here in San Antonio. It's at Temple Offering, which is off of Lamar over by Burleson Yard. And the other one is called Indie Coffee Co. And they're over by UTSA. I will include the addresses and the links to their social media stuff in the description below. So if you're interested, check that out. I know the new year brings in a lot of like, I'm gonna have a healthy lifestyle, healthy mind, healthy body. So there's your little hint to get that started. So just kind of a heads up, when we're going through the goal setting cycle, I'm just providing you with the tools to help you set those goals. I'm actually not going to be letting you know what my goals are and sharing that with you today. I will probably do that in another video when I talk about the books that I'm going to be reading or that I read in the month of January when I'm doing those book reviews. So today is really just some tools to help you set some goals. Let's go ahead and talk about goal setting. I went to a vision and goal setting class with Lululemon, and Jen Rulon actually did the class. If you haven't heard of her, she is a freaking beast. She's done Ironmans, she's written a book, she does her own like coaching and training. I'll have all of her information and social media stuff down in the description below if you're interested in checking her out. She is such a sweetheart and I learned a lot from her. But let's talk about the little Lululemon workbook that we got there. And it really gives you a great breakdown on how to set goals. We believe that mindfulness is a powerful and measurable tool that can help you actively work towards a life you love. We call this mindful performance. Vision and goals is one of our many mindful performance tools. It has been designed to help you live your fullest human potential, whatever that looks like for you. So that's just kind of a little quote to kind of get us in the mood for doing some goal setting. So there's this thing called the goal cycle. So you identify your values, you visualize your best life, you set your priorities, you write a goal, you get started, you stick with it, and you detach from the outcome. So let's talk about how to do that. All right, so how do we identify our values? So think of 3 people that you admire. And this could be anybody. It doesn't have to be like your parents or somebody from TV. Think about 3 people that you admire, and then think about like, why do you admire them? What are their values? And then use those 3 qualities that most resonate with you personally right now. So just take a moment to write that down, and then we'll reflect on it a little bit. This little activity should take you no more than 5 minutes. Once you've gone through that, reflect on that. Could these be your core values? Do you find these qualities important, like the most in your life? Is this something that you identify with, that you will explore more during your goal setting? So think about that. And then next, let's talk about like visualizing your best life. So use these like next 10 minutes to visualize your day as fully lived, like into 3 core values that you identified as being most important. And the last little piece. So in this activity, how do you feel? What does your day look and feel like? What are you grateful for? What are you doing that benefits you and others? Okay, so setting your priorities. From the activities that we just did, go ahead and identify 1 to 3 areas of your life, whether that's creativity, whether that's health, whether that's your career, whether it's like working out or your hobbies or anything in that nature. Identify what is most important to you. Don't think about what other people want to be important to you or like any outside influences. Really meditate on what's important to you. And once you've established that, now focus your energy and see what is going to support you and having the biggest impact on your goals. Just a reminder, you can pause this video at any time and work through that activity, or you can just like take notes and do it later, or you could just ignore it, whichever. So let's talk about writing a goal. A goal is a statement of intent, a declaration of something you want in your future. 2 of the most common types of goals are achievement goals and continuous goals. Achievement goals accumulate in a distinct endpoint. So, for example, I will be a certified yoga teacher by June of next year. I will open my business by 2020. So that's kind of an example. A continuous goal or an ongoing activity or behavior is I will volunteer at the local hospital 1 day a week starting this month. I will complete a daily gratitude journal starting on Sunday. So those are just some examples of like the different types of goals. So if you still have any confusion about that, let me know down in the comments and I'll be happy to like clarify that out. So I'm gonna go through a couple of things that will help you write your goal. So I will do some guides for goals, reach, define, and time. So let's start out with the guides for goals. The way that you write a goal can help set you up for success. It is vital that you have clearly defined focus and that you phrase it in a way that encourages your active participation. So when you do this, it's often going to make you really active in that participation of completing that goal. So a lot of the times you're going to complete that goal sooner than you thought because you're actively working towards it every day, which is super exciting because you're like, oh, I've got to meet that deadline because I said I was going to do it by such and such date. So if you have a continuous goal, decide how often you will do it and when you'll start. So here I'm showing you the activity of writing a goal, and it's a little checklist that shows you how to write down goals that will help you incorporate these priorities that you identified in the previous activity into your life. So does this goal stretch you? Are you clearly defining your goal? For achievement goals, are you setting a completion date roughly between 6 to 18 months? For continuous goals, are you stating how often and setting a start date? So go ahead and take about 10 minutes and complete this activity, or do it in your own time, but basically it should take you about 10 minutes. So you're going to go values, vision, goals. Good luck. So once you've written down your goals, reflect on them. Do you see your values in your goals that you're setting? Do you deeply desire this? And if the answer to these questions are no, that's okay. You can start over and do some meditation and figure out like what goals are you really wanting to set? And it'll really kind of help you narrow it down so it's not like such a broad spectrum that you kind of get lost in the goal. So once you've completed step 4, you'll start step 5, and that's really about getting started. So take a couple of moments and go through like what steps are you going to take to help you get started in reaching these goals that you've set. And once you've done that shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes. But once you've done that, you'll want to look at what could stand in your way? What will be a barrier to your success? And while you're doing that, think a little bit about how you're going to overcome those barriers. And each one of those should take you about 5 minutes, no more. All right, let's get into step 6. So in step 6, you'll do a little activity about sticking with it. So what you'll want to do is be accountable to yourself. Make time to review your progress. Maybe it's every week, maybe it's every 4 weeks, maybe it's somewhere in between that. But check in, see how you're doing. Are you making progress towards your goal, or are you not? And if you're not, like, why aren't you? Is it because you're not passionate about that goal anymore? Maybe we need to set a new goal. Are you just not doing it because you're tired? Are you making excuses? Or is there something else? Is one of those barriers that you wrote down in the previous activity, is that hindering you? And if it is, what can you do to overcome that? So have you put it on your calendar? Do you have a reminder set for you? So those are just a few things that you can do and review to help you figure out what's happening in your progression to your goal. So then the next little activity is going to be being accountable to others. Is this a goal that you can share with someone close to you? When you tell people about your goals, it increases actually the likelihood of you completing those goals, because now you've told someone and they can hold you accountable to achieve that. So commit to posting your goals and sharing them with people around you who offer you encouragement and support in your life. So a few examples of how you can share your goals with other people is you can tell a mentor, you can tell chosen friends and family, you can post it on social media. Just keep in mind that the social media piece is just a suggestion. It's not something that I encourage you to do or am pushing for you to do. I am just giving you like another outlet. I find that social media can sometimes be a little bit cruel, because there's some trolls out there who might hinder and become a barrier to your success. So just keep that in mind if that's something you're interested in sharing on social media. If it's something that you're interested in me sharing, let me know. I might select a couple of goals that I've set for this year on social media. Okay, so now that we're done with that little goal setting segment, I really want to talk about the books I'm going to be reading this month. So for the month of January, the book theme is obviously self-help. So a couple of these books, or actually most of these books, I've already read, but I like to reread them every year. So let's go through that. So the first one is Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist. I love this book. I highly recommend it as a book to read to start off your new year. The next book is going to be Menses. I have not read this book, but I am looking forward to checking it out. A lot of his philosophies are in here, so hopefully I can learn a thing or two. So the third book on my list for this month is going to be The Code to the Extraordinary Mind. I've read this book before. I really did enjoy it. I will say I did not agree with everything in this book, but it has 10 unconventional laws to redefine your life and succeed on your own terms. And the next book is, I'm just love Jordan B. Peterson. I think he's such a creative, open-minded professor. If that is something that you don't agree with, I'm sorry, but his book, The 12 Rules for Life, sorry, the light was shining off of it, but this is a great book. I'm looking forward to reading it and doing a review. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!